This marks Donald Curry's second fight since his defeat to Lloyd Hannigan 7 months earlier. Despite the setback, Curry remains in contention for a potential matchup against Marvelous Marvin Hagler for the middleweight crown, assuming Hagler gets past Leonard. At the time, Hagler had his sights set on breaking Carlos Monzon's record of middleweight title defenses. Now, had Hagler triumphed over Leonard, Curry would have been a viable opponent, according to their promoter, Bob Arum. But Hagler's manager, Pat Petronelli, felt differently, saying, quote, "If he's the best around, so be it. But I think Donald Curry is overrated. He's no threat. Never was." On the opposite side of the ring is Carlos Santos, a former IBF junior middleweight champion with a 30-2 record. Santos had been on Curry's radar for some time, as Curry's camp once considered him the quickest route to a second world title when Curry was the welterweight champion. But Curry nixed the idea, stating, quote, "Nobody really thinks too much of him. It would be a waste of time. Santos wouldn't be a real interesting fight." Santos was a pesky southpaw who fought primarily in Puerto Rico before traveling to Italy, where he won 7 fights and worked as a fashion model. Although he's best known for a decision loss to Wilfred Benitez, Santos engaged in a Fight of the Year candidate against Mark Maddow in winning the title before losing it to Buster Drayton a year before this bout.
In white, Curry 26-1 with 20 knockouts. And Carlos Santos 34-3 with 24 KOs, but showing more power in recent fights than early in his career. And Gil, I think from you what we need to hear is the fact that he's a southpaw. Is Curry solid against southpaws or suspect?
Well, Tim, we only saw him box one southpaw, and he knocked him out in the second round, nailed him with a good punch, but he was having trouble. As funny as it sounds, even though the fight only went 2 rounds.
I recall that fight against Rodriguez in Fort Worth in the first round. Curry did have considerable difficulty, but one punch turned it around in round 2.
His sparring partner wasn't Donald Curry.
No, that's for sure. Solid right. Solid right from Curry to the chest. The challenge of Santos. Now Curry backing up Santos, has him in trouble. I think it was that right hand that had rocked him earlier. Now Santos seems to have his legs back. A good right hand by Curry, finding the opening down the middle.
He's not moving. He's staying right in front of Curry.
Just managed to tag Curry with a right, but he paid for it with a combination in return.
Tim, he's not going to out-punch Donald Curry. He's going to have to out-maneuver him.
Curry sharpshooting now, another good combination score. Ryan with Gil Clancy, round 2 scheduled for 12. USBA Junior Middleweight Championship at stake. The champion Donald Curry from Fort Worth in white. The challenger, former world champion, IBF version, Carlos Santos in red.
Tim, in Santos' corner, they told him to throw punches, be aggressive. They didn't mention boxing. That's what he's doing.
Work to the body there of Donald Curry in that opening flurry, and had been effective during the weekend training. But now Curry comes alive with a flurry.
Can't understand this strategy from Carlos Santos.
Jerry Maltz is from the state of Arizona, one of the 3 judges on Brandon Jarman. And that is Patricia Jarman, we should point out, female judge here in Las Vegas. And the heads did clash just as we made that comment. Donald Curry reached up to see if there was any blood. His right eye, but apparently nothing opened up. And again, Santos in close with his head. And he gets a severe warning this time from Padilla, and it may cost him soon if it happens again.
Then the last fight that Donald Curry had, they disqualified his opponent for butting. Now it's happening again. Very strange.
Montgomery, yeah, in round 5 of that fight. Under a minute to go, we're in round 2. Solid left to the head of the challenger, but Santos digs back to the body.
Then that left to the head was set up by a pretty good body shot. Curry's digging to the body. Santos, Tim. went Santos' head again.
Both fighters
He
landing.
wobbled him, Tim. Santos was wobbled. Good left hook.
Brown, United States Championship, junior middleweight division, 154 pounds. Donald Curry in white. The champion, Santos in red.
Santos switched momentarily, Tim. Switched to the orthodox style. He's back fighting southpaw again.
Quite an exchange in the final seconds of the second round. Both fighters landing, and we thought Curry getting the best of it with one of his shots.
Santos gave a good account of himself, though, Tim, in that exchange. Another good right hook by Santos.
He's definitely willing to bang with Curry.
This is the war right now, Tim. Santos is countering pretty good with a straight left hand off Curry's punches.
Seems to be timing a little better, doesn't he, Gil, as this fight's gone into the third round?
Well, he's got his rhythm, Tim. I'm just surprised he's staying right in front of Curry the way he is.
He just took a right hand.
He's banging back
He
himself.
bangs right back every time. Under a minute to go, round 3. Both fighters missing badly there.
Well, there was Santos reaching again. A little too anxious. Thing to do is make Curry miss and then counter. And he is a good counterpuncher, Santos. Oh, boy, those heads are banging together pretty good right now.
Unique right hand lead by Curry landed.
Santos has been stopped once, Tim, but that was back in 1978, 9 years ago. He's got a pretty good chin, very good chin.
That was fairly early in this. Carlos Santos off the stool quickly. He's eager.
Carlos Santos was complaining to his cornerman about something. I don't know what's bothering him, but he was shaking his head and complaining.
Let's get underway in the fourth round of the USBA Junior Middleweight Championship. Donald Curry in white, Carlos Santos in red. Curry forcing the issue. He's got Santos hit in the corner, but he fights his way out of there.
Burying those body shots, Tim.
That will take their toll, but every time it looks like he's starting to really get Santos in position, Santos wails right back. Donald Curry and Carlos Santos, and apparently a little momentary loss of audio. We apologize for that.
Both fighters landing solid punches, Tim.
Right in the middle of the ring, letting it fly. Temperature has really increased here as we had early morning cool weather and rainy, wet weather overnight into the morning. It was quite breezy, but now the fighters are sweating freely in there.
Oh, you see that head, Tim?
Carlos, it almost looked like he deliberately missed the left hand and brought his head in behind it.
Nice combination by Santos. And there was the head again. There they go again.
And this time you could see Curry just walk away in disgust, and there will be a point taken away by Carlos Padilla from Carlos Santos.
Tim, isn't this strange? Exactly the same thing that happened to Curry in the Montgomery fight.
That fight was stopped. Montgomery disqualified in Curry's first fight as a full-fledged junior middleweight. Under the 30-second mark. Round 4. Now Curry reaching in. Solid right hand by Santos to the ear of Curry.
Santos is surprising me with his aggressiveness. He'd do much better if he tried to be a little bit more cute. There he got nailed again, but he's nailing Curry.
Final seconds of the fourth round.
Tim, those heads are clashing all the time. I'm surprised that nobody's busted up as yet. There they are again.
At the end of round number 4, he had the respect for Curry as a junior middleweight that he did as a welterweight, and he felt he could outstrength him.
Tim, yes, and now he switched around. He's boxing orthodox style, and you're right. He felt that Curry was only a welterweight. That's what he told us. He said that with disdain. He's only a little welterweight, like Donald Curry. Those kinds of things worry me.
took a nice head-snapping jab from Curry, working. Now he switches back to his natural stance for him, the southpaw side. Bright, sunny skies now here in Las Vegas. Temperature is really heated up. And that makes everybody feel better about Monday night. Hagler-Leonard here at Caesars Palace.
Good straight left by Santos, Tim. Caught Curry coming out. Oh, Tim, they're banging heads time after time. It's amazing that nobody's cut. There goes the head again.
Now here comes Padilla, may take another point away. Let's see. Yes, he does. Second point taken away, and Akbar Muhammad, the business manager of Donald Curry, leapt to his feet when that contact was made. He is angry and upset, perhaps seeing the same circumstances of the Montgomery fight. One thing for your fighter to win, but God forbid that he gets cut in the process when it's totally unnecessary.
Curry nailed him with a couple of good punches, Tim, and he used that old Latin trick. He smiled at Curry, but believe me, when they smile, they're hurt.
Now Curry, no doubt, letting his anger come out in his gloves here. Minute to go, round number 5.
Tim, do you think that's anything with Curry's style that makes these guys butt him? I mean, it's very, very strange that 2 fights in a row, you're having a big problem with butts.
Except that Donald does seem willing to lean in and keep his head in the contact range. He doesn't move it very much.
Oh,
whoa, that was obvious. Now Santos, they're going to DQ him, I think. That's it, they have. Well, can you imagine this? In the 5th round, as it happened in the last fight, and that one was clearly an obvious attempt on the part of Santos to score with his head. Well, he did, and it cost him the fight.
Tim, the only thing I can figure, Curry must be hurting these guys a lot more than it looks like, and they're looking for any way to get out of there. It looked like he wanted to get out of there, and that was his easiest way out.
Well, but he wasn't doing that badly in the fight, Gil. I mean, it wasn't that he was taking tremendous punishment. I mean, sure, he had some good shots to the body and head, but he was not a fighter in trouble. I don't know that I would accept that explanation. I can't come up with an answer, but it was clearly an obvious attempt to butt with theirs.
I don't know. I was controlling the fight, and it was pretty much my fault making my head available for him to butt. And I guess I got to go back and work on that in the gym. But I wasn't really satisfied with the headbutt. It irritated me.
Well, it's not a satisfying way for you to win, I'm sure. You'd like to go out, do your thing, win the fight cleanly, not have 2 DQs in a row.
I know it. It's frustrated me.
Sure.
That's what it's doing, and I was very disappointed in Santos for using the head.
Well, and I can see that you did indeed get a cut. I wasn't sure, and there is a cut over your right eye, and obviously that delays your progress in the gym and so on, and it's got to be very disappointing.
Oh, yeah, it is very disappointing when you get cut and you've never been cut before, and you want to go back and, look for another fight in July, now have to wait.
Donald, we're going to show you that the final one because he'd been warned several times, and Padilla had already taken a point away. This is the last one, and you did make a point, and I made it also, that one of the things is that your head was there to be butted. Now, a fighter shouldn't have to worry about having another guy go right at him like that, but it's interesting that you also realized that you weren't moving your head enough.
Well, yeah, that was the point. I was controlling the fight, and once I controlled the fight, I started, trying to dig to the body, and I made my head available for him to butt.
All right, now we talked to you last week about, kind of where you are in this picture. You've got the win now. Do you want to stay as a junior middleweight to win a title, or are you thinking about moving up to the middleweight ranks immediately, or will you wait till Monday night?
Wait till Monday night. I would like to fight the winner of the Leonard and Hagler fight, but whatever, I'll fight anybody.
So you would consider then, if you don't get that immediately, that you would try it for a 154-pound world title?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. I was hoping to fight maybe in July, but now it's it, but I really don't know.
Okay, well, good luck to you, Donald. You were clearly the better man, and we feel badly about the way it ended for you, and we'll look forward to seeing you in real action again soon.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Okay, Donald.